That year brought one of the most audacious moves yet from the HOA. While I was overseas attending to some legal and agricultural matters, they decided it would be a good idea to empty the mansion reservoir. This reservoir wasn't merely ornamental. It was a massive, multi-tiered water system that fed several functional areas of the farm, including irrigation channels for crops, wash stations for the horses, and water purification for some of the livestock areas. The idea that someone could interfere with it without consequences was almost laughable, but Karen and her team were determined to prove otherwise. I received the initial message from a frantic farmhand. "They're draining the reservoir." At first, I thought it was an exaggeration. By the time I checked the security footage, I realized with a mixture of disbelief and amusement that the HOA had mobilized heavy-duty pumps and hoses, creating a makeshift operation worthy of a small construction site. Karen herself stood at the edge, barking instructions while clearly unaware of the engineering and legal ramifications of what she was doing. The animals, ever vigilant even in my absence, responded immediately. The horses positioned themselves at the reservoir's gates and intake valves, pawing the ground and stomping in unison. The geese and ducks flanked the perimeter, honking warnings, while the goats scrambled onto access points to block further human intervention. It was as if the entire farm had a single objective: protect the water. Meanwhile, the HOA team had no idea that this reservoir was linked to a network of legally protected water channels. By attempting to drain it, they were risking violations of federal water management regulations, farm safety protocols, and even environmental laws. The first few minutes of their operation were uneventful, but soon small malfunctions began. Hoses kinked under pressure, pumps clogged, and a curious horse managed to nudge a lever that reversed the flow temporarily. The resulting backflow soaked Karen and two of her officers, leaving them dripping and sputtering in frustration. Knowing this would escalate quickly, I coordinated remotely with my farmhand. We activated a series of automated valves and emergency shutoffs, designed to prevent unauthorized drainage. Within minutes, the water level stabilized, and the HOA's entire operation ground to a halt. Karen, flustered and soaked, tried to assert authority once more, but it was clear that her efforts had failed. The animals continued to watch silently, a living, breathing barrier between the intruders and the reservoir. When I returned from my trip, the HOA had already left, humiliated and empty-handed. I inspected the reservoir, noting minor disturbances but no lasting damage. The operation had unintentionally reinforced a critical point. My farm was protected not just by law, permits, and strategy, but by the loyalty and intelligence of the animals who had grown up under my guidance. In response to the incident, I took additional precautions. New signage, legal notices, and subtle mechanical deterrents ensured that any future attempts to manipulate the reservoir would be instantly countered. I also used the opportunity to reinforce the farm's security systems, blending technology with natural barriers created by the animals. The lesson was clear. Attempts to interfere with my property, especially when I was away, would not only fail, they would result in embarrassment, wasted effort, and occasionally a very wet HOA team. By the end of the week, the story of the mansion reservoir incident had spread among the neighbors, reinforcing my reputation as a farm owner who combined legal acumen, natural intelligence, and a very effective animal-based defense system. That year, the reservoir remained intact, the farm flourished, and the HOA learned, once again, that their understanding of my property was hopelessly incomplete. Their overreach had only strengthened my resolve and reinforced the system I had carefully built to protect my land, my animals, and the very essence of the farm itself.